A man found himself in the middle of the ocean after his ship was destroyed in a terrible storm. Everyone else had drowned, but by the grace of God, he washed ashore on a deserted island. When he opened his eyes, he realized he was completely alone, with no food, no shelter, and no sign of help. He dropped to his knees and prayed, "Oh God, please send someone to rescue me." Day after day, he waited, but no one came. Each morning, he prayed again, but the island remained silent. As time passed, he started losing hope, wondering if God had abandoned him. After days of waiting for help that never came, the man realized he had no choice but to survive on his own. He gathered wood and built a small hut to protect himself from the wind and rain. He salvaged whatever he could from the wreckage, some broken planks, a few metal scraps, and a piece of torn fabric he used as a cover. With no food supply, he learned to catch fish in the shallow waters and climbed palm trees to gather coconuts. His days were spent searching for food, repairing his shelter, and watching the horizon, hoping for a ship to appear. One day, after preparing a fire to cook his meal, he left briefly to collect more wood. When he returned, his heart sank. His hut was on fire. The flames devoured everything he had built. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, he raised his hands toward the sky and cried, "God, why would you do this to me? I asked for help, and instead, you've taken away the only thing I had." That night, he lay on the beach, cold and defeated. Little did he know, the very fire that destroyed his hut would be the signal that led to his rescue the next morning. God's plan is greater than ours. Sometimes, life doesn't go the way we expect. We make plans, we work hard, and we hope for the best. But then, something unexpected happens, our plans fall apart, and we feel lost, disappointed, or even abandoned. However, just because things don't go our way doesn't mean that God isn't working behind the scenes for our good. Take the story of the man stranded on a deserted island. When his small hut burned down, he was devastated. It was the only shelter he had. And in his frustration, he cried out to God, questioning why this had happened to him. He didn't realize that the very thing he saw as a disaster, the fire, was actually the reason he was rescued. The ship's captain saw the smoke and knew someone needed help. What seemed like destruction was actually God's way of saving him. In our own lives, we often face similar moments. A job loss, an illness, or an unexpected turn of events may feel like setbacks, but they could be leading us to something better. God's plan is always bigger than our own. While we see only the present struggle, He sees the full picture. So whenever life takes an unexpected turn, instead of losing hope, trust that God has something greater in store for you. His ways are higher, His timing is perfect, and His plan is always for your good. Keep the faith. Your breakthrough might be just around the corner. At times, life doesn't go the way we expect. We work hard, make plans, and do everything right, yet things still fall apart. It can be frustrating, even heartbreaking. The man stranded on the island thought losing his hut was a disaster. But in reality, it was part of a bigger plan, his rescue. God works in ways we don't always understand. When we face difficulties, it's easy to feel abandoned. But we must remember that even in our struggles, He is guiding us. What may seem like a loss could be leading us to something greater. Just like the burning hut became the signal for help, the challenges in our lives might be setting us on the path to something better. So when things go wrong, don't lose faith. Trust that God's plan is always bigger, better, and exactly what we need, just at the right time.